Welcome to the Wrestling Still Cold podcast. My name's Cam. That's Mark.
How y'all doing? Appreciate you joining in.
So we're recording this the 29th on a Sunday. I'm
Hope
okay with
hope y'all enjoyed your Thanksgiving. Good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really hoping that I'll have this up late Monday afternoon into the evening, at least by Tuesday. Take care of some edits and things like that. But we're going to talk about the news and things that happened on the TV show over the past week. One of the things I actually wanted to bring up is on Friday we had a match between basically two guys that were stars from the underground. Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan had a match on Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah. Tore the house down.
Right, and that's what I've been hearing constantly. Is it was just a great match. One of the things I will say is Daniel Bryan is insane for trying to take a brainbuster from Sami Zayn on the apron. I saw that clip. No, thank you.
I'm surprised that even was the case with Bryan's kind of past issues.
I'm surprised WWE was okay with that.
Yeah, I don't know myself, but it's like, yeah, there must have been some serious protection. Zayn with, and of course, Daniel Bryan had some trust, good trust with him to do it. So,
well, my feeling is it's either one, they did it without permission, or two, WWE trusts Zayn not to hurt him.
That's what I'm saying. I think there's a good trust between Zayn to Bryan, and then to obviously with WWE. If they didn't know, but obviously there's some, Bryan trust me. I would say that's the best way to say it. And he knew how to protect him. So.
Yeah, if they didn't okay with it, didn't okay it, Zayn probably got a nice little talk to later. But anyway, one of the things I'll give Zayn credit to is his character build, and that he does it on social media. He even tweeted out after the match, as much as I run my mouth, it was always an absolute privilege to be able to get in the ring with Daniel Bryan. You never know if or when it might happen again. He is, in my opinion, the best in-ring performer of our generation. Still, it should be noted I won the match. I like it because it fits his character as talking positively about Daniel Bryan, kind of like what he was doing to Bobby Lashley, like, I'm going to compliment you. But at the end, he's like, yeah, I won the match. So it's still, he's still the heel.
Oh,
like, yeah, he's a good wrestler, but, I won.
I like Zayn. I think Zayn's gotten better, not only as, obviously, Mike work. A little bit, you can see sometimes where he's shown a little more of his abilities.
Yeah.
But his persona is just so much more better, especially this go around time since he came back. It's even better. He's one of the top.
He's better as a heel. Actually.
Oh my
I'm
God,
surprised. Yeah. I'm surprised because to me, he just seems like a natural face. But man, this heel character, it's right on point for him. And he's doing amazing with it.
Oh yeah, he's one of those guys that at one point I didn't. It wasn't a big deal to me to watch just Sami Zayn. I can take it or leave it, but now it's like, man, gotta watch him now. It's just he's gotten so much better, and I give him credit for that too. And he's been able to. And I'll also say that WWE probably had more trust into him to open up a little bit. I would it's fair enough to say that. I would say, yeah.
And one of the things I'm grateful for is even though him and Kevin Owens are on the same show, they haven't put them together because we don't need to see that.
No, we already seen all that stuff. So let's just the times are right. They can kind of bump into each other, whatever, but in the hallway or whatnot. But I think it's fine that they're separating them.
Yeah, it's better because one of the things WWE likes to do is rehash matches. So they like to, like John Cena, Randy Orton, they did that a million times over. What's another example of that? Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they did a million times over.
Drew McIntyre. Oh, good.
I was going to say Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton had several matches as well.
One feud that went on, it wasn't like the most talked about feud, but it went back to quite a bit. With Cena and Big Show, it was like their last time they went at it. It was like this again, but it was,
yeah.
That's not the most popular one, but they do pretty well with each other. They do, but it's
Mhm.
like the last time it was been in the office a few years ago. I was like, okay, we've seen this enough. But it's all right.
Right. I'm sorry. Now that we're on SmackDown, there's something else I want to mention, and I just kind of looked at my notes for this. SmackDown shared an update, and I just gotta read this to you. Basically, Otis was brutally attacked by Jey Uso, and that WWE wanted to announce that Otis had suffered an injury. Evaluations showed multiple areas of contusions and tenderness of the muscles throughout the thoracic spine region. Examination of the bony regions of the thoracic spine and ribs did not reveal any abnormalities. What the hell is that?
I don't know, man. I have no idea. You're making it sound bad. I would say, oh my god, he has this. I don't know.
And if that's just not it, WWE also wanted to announce that Jey Uso was evaluated because of getting hit with too many chair shots. Or no, I'm sorry, for hitting Owens and Otis with too many chair shots. Evaluation showed bilateral upper extremity weakness as a result of stretching a lower cervical nerve roots from chair strikes. The belief is that the weakness is temporary and should be resolved over the next few days. WWE, I don't know if they're trying to be funny or if it's just one rogue person just like, I'm going to write the most ridiculous thing.
I would say, between that and it's like, just be honest here, man. It's like, that's, it's just, when you're not talking regular English a little bit, it's kind of like you're going to lose the people that's watching and reading this stuff. It's not everybody knows these severe medical terms, or at least these, by the book. So it's like you're trying to understand what you're reading. It's like, okay, what does that mean? It's like you get diagnosed with something that the doctors or hospital. It's like, okay, doc, that in English. That's just how you got to know your audience too. It's like not everybody understands.
And something ridiculous like this would be fitting for a heel champion like Chris Jericho doing, or even I could picture Sami Zayn doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I had suffered a upper rotator cuff injury from smacking Blank with a chair, 100 times. MJF, I could see doing it in AEW.
Yeah.
But for this to be the company line, it's super ridiculous, and it hinges on the bad parts of WWE. And Chris Jericho even mentioned like their comedy is terrible.
Yeah.
He said on Keeping It 100, like, my view of comedy is always play it straight. WWE comedy is dick and fart jokes. That's what a lot of it doesn't work well. Don't try to be funny, because if you're trying to be funny, it's never funny. And that's my attitude with all those segments. Jericho, he was able to do comedy because it seemed like he believed what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like the WCW conspiracy theory, the dirty, stinking, trash bag hoe comments.
Mm-hmm.
He was in on the joke with the Kevin Owens and the Festival of Friendship, but his character wasn't in on it. His character was, "You're my best friend," and look what happened.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
You can see that so many of these promos are just way over restricted, and it's like you're trying to do something that's over the top, and you're trying too hard. And obviously, a lot of, as you know as well as I do, anybody else knows that these promos don't fit the character. So you can't just write something. I mean, you got to write something that the character would say. Something,
Right.
You get in sync with the character. I'm like, you can't write something thinking that, this sounds good, so we're going to throw it to them. Like, no, or no. And it's got to fit them, and they have to pull it off the right way. So, I mean, I don't blame everything on the writing. I mean, it's also, you get to somebody, they have to make it good. And some wrestlers are not, putting a little seasoning on the steak, so to speak. So, so you're trying too hard, like Jericho says. In time, it doesn't come off very well. That's I definitely can go along with that.
Yeah, and with Jericho, do you think that AEW jumped the shark with Jericho and MJF doing that musical thing back a couple weeks ago?
I only jumped. I wasn't overly entertained with the musical numbers, whatever scene, but I mean, I saw there's some of their stuff that they were pulling off this past week, and it was okay. I had no problem with some of their stuff that they do. Some of it gets, I would call, a touch over the top, but it's like they're not, well, I would consider overly trying. It's just they're just having fun, and it's like, yeah, you can see the differences when they have creative freedom and they can do what they feel is good for them, good for the moment, and you can see that. You can see, you know, when they're trying to be themselves, it makes it a lot better. That's all. That's the best way to say it.
It's, I don't know. I had mixed feelings about when they did it, and I can definitely feel like some people that are wrestling fans wouldn't dig it. But it's kind of hard to determine whether or not it's going to help or hurt AEW. And with MJF, the guy that was part of MLW who had MJF on there, he did an interview recently with Chris Jericho where MJF almost went to WWE. And think about that for a moment. I don't think it would have worked.
No, I can, in my belief, I don't think it would have worked out. At least they would have made him look like, bottom of the barrel, I believe. Or I wouldn't have been surprised they would have put a mid card just to test the waters, and then it's I'd say, huh?
I kind of feel like he would get the Joe Henning treatment.
Well, I think so. It's just they have such a very small box, and it's so cookie cutter, and it's, if you don't fit that certain little mold, you're not going to have. It's so hard to get that success in that area. That's why it's like, it's just that you picture these certain wrestlers going to a different company or into WWE, and it's like it's hard to really imagine them in there because we know the track record from the WWE, and it's like, I like WWE. It's like, some things to do, but it's just like you see these wrestlers having success somewhere else, and it's like you don't, they don't fit that mold that you usually see in WWE. So it's like, in hindsight, it's better they went the direction they decided to go. So yeah, I'm glad he did sign with the AEW.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't think it would really work anywhere besides maybe Ring of Honor, AEW, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if NWA was still running shows, I think it would work there.
Yeah.
Because he has kind of that throwback feel with a more modern take, I guess you'd say.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's definitely what I would say. He reminds me. You take an old, like you said, basically an old school, but still throw some fresh paint on it, a few cuts of it, and then that's what you get. So I think it works out that way for him, by far.
And I think there's actually probably a few wrestlers fit that mold too. I mean, it's not completely that, but I think Miz has a lot of a newer version of like an '80s Ric Flair.
That's close. I mean, I'm not definitely. Yeah. I mean, I'm not. Miz, he's underrated in my opinion.
Well, he's gotten better in the ring. He was terrible in the ring before.
Yeah. I mean, at one point, his ring work was just nothing to really talk about. That's how it is. So it's a number of in-ring guys too and girls, but he's gotten better over the years. There's a number of people who got better over the years. Still working on the craft, and it's like I said, it's you get inside that company, WWE. It's cookie cutter. It's like you got to fit a certain mold. So I'm glad that a lot of these guys, some of them started in WWE, they went to AEW. Sometimes you try the big leagues, and they call the big league. I don't mean WWE's big leagues. I mean AEW's also big leagues to me too.
But WWE is the Disney of wrestling.
Oh yeah. They definitely are. They're the Coca-Cola of Disney, whatever you want to reference it to. It's hard to fit in that small box.
What do you think of Alexa Bliss being part of the Firefly Funhouse?
Yeah, actually, I'll just go ahead and that. I think it's cool. I'm entertained by it. I really am. It's a different side of her.